Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Ashton from the Ashton Forever YouTube channel, and today's episode is going to be mainly focused on sports, mainly for a negative note. A lot of negative stuff happened today. It's gonna suck, but we're gonna have to get through it. But I want to start off on a positive note with some good information for some bored college kids out there, which I feel like is most of the people who watch this video anyway. So for those of you who are into sports but don't have time to like watch Sports Center 5 times a day or the lights or anything else that comes on television, and you have time in class to look at stuff on your computer and everything, there's a few websites that you probably should check out and definitely be entertained by. First off, sportsgrid.com. It's a website that was shown to me by my friend Mike Pudlow. Big ups to Pud and everything like that. So it's basically the TMZ of sports, other than TMZ. It follows they follow every single athlete. They find like the most random stories that are true, 100% true. They find the most random stories, and they kind of have this sarcastic tone throughout the entire piece, where it's like they take little jabs at what they're saying, and just kind of laughing at what normal people would say, what athletes do, and the difference between all that in between and everything like that. And they definitely get some good information out. I read it every single day now. For almost, I think, like 4 or 5 months, I go on that website every single day, read I think like 10 articles. So it's a good way to get some good reading in. It's a good way to look at a different style of writing, because they're different writers have different styles, and it's very obvious. Moving on, another sports website, sportspickle.com, is the Onion affiliate. So the Onion, for those of you who know what it is, it's a satire. Satire website that kind of takes normal news and like pushes it to the edge, but it still seems normal. And it's not really it's never 100% true. Sometimes it's 100% false, but never 100% true. They exaggerate it a little bit, and it's really funny. And the Sports Pickle kind of does the same thing. They kind of go outrageous with a lot of NFL coaches, a lot of MLB managers, and stuff like that. And so that site is pretty funny. They have a picture section where they have a caption contest where people just put captions, or they write on, and they make the sports memes, which are pretty funny. And something that's going to take for those of you who aren't really into sports but really like music, fratboymusic.com is a very entertaining website. It is, of course, mostly funded by frat guys, fraternity brothers, putting in their mixes online, and surprisingly enough, they're actually pretty good. They get put into all these really kind of frat life categories, like midday drinking, early morning drinking, drinking by yourself, after party drinking, during party drinking, beer pong music, beer tennis music, and all these kind of like really crazy, kind of somewhat sarcastic but realistic situation for music. And it definitely is really cool. They mix some pop songs, some rap songs, some rock songs, and all that kind of stuff together, and they kind of make this techno blend around it. So it's definitely pretty cool. It's something you can definitely play at a party or something like that, and definitely get people to dance. So yeah, last but not least, another sports website it's a pretty mainstream website for people who read sports online, the Bleacher Report. I specifically put this one on here because they do a lot of factual and objective material, specifically their scouting of different players for football, baseball, hockey, soccer, and all that stuff in between. They do a really good job of kind of going out there and finding high school players that don't really get a lot of buzz around them, and kind of produce where they're going to go, and really do a pretty good job of predicting how well they're going to be. They have a pretty good grasp on college football and professional level. Of course, they have that pretty much locked down. They have a very good, well experienced staff, so they have really cool opinions, because it's based off of not like the current 20 years of the number of years that we've been alive, but generations before, and kind of like they see trends and where they're going to go and where they're coming from. So it's really cool to have a website like that to go to. And moving on to today's disappointing news, there's a couple disappointing things in sports that happened today. I'm going to start off with some key injury that happened this week. Chris Paul broke his thumb. He probably broke it a long time ago. It was probably messed up a long time ago. He just didn't know it was broken, or he pushed it over the edge, and now it is broken. But he had surgery, I believe, on Tuesday, and supposedly he's supposed to be recovering to 100%. He's going to be out for 3 months. So he's going to miss a lot of time you're a basketball player, so typically you just go out there and kind of practice. I mean, football players run around and they work on catching and stuff like that, and hockey players kind of work on skating and conditioning and everything like that. But basketball players, you work on your ball handling skills and your shooting and everything, and you need both. Well, for shooting, in theory, you only need one hand, but you need to work on driving on both hands, layups, and everything like that. So he's going to be kind of sidelined on his training for like 3 months. Hopefully his rehabilitation goes along well. And that kind of sucks because on top of that, Blake Griffin, for those of you who didn't know, the reason he wasn't at the Olympics, he messed up his knee in practice one day, and they just kind of cut him. It was also not trying to say he faked it or anything. It was 2 days after he signed his 5-year, $98 million deal. Just putting it out there. Yeah, so he didn't play. His knee's messed up. He's supposed to be doing pretty well right now. And most disappointing because it's cheating. Lance Armstrong was confirmed to have been doping while he was cycling on the second Tour de France, I believe it is. The first one he did completely 100% by himself. I believe that one is the most impressive because that was the one after the cancer diagnosis, and it just his legacy is tainted forever, and it's just kind of disappointing. It's always disappointing when somebody cheats, but specifically in sports because sports are so pure. Like you really can't. It's really difficult to taint something that's so simple. Like Chris Paul could be playing with the LA Clippers one day, but then he can go to like some random neighborhood and pick up a ball and start playing, and that's the cool kind of thing about sports. And it's always disappointing when somebody cheats, no matter what sport it is, and there's a price to pay. And his price is a lot heftier than a suspension from the Tour de France or the Tour de Suisse and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of losing the trust of a lot of his fans and the big legacy that he's built up and the big brand that he's built up for inspiring people who with cancer, and yeah, it sucks. And last but not least, well, not last, there's one more. I recently read a story on sportsgrid.com. Julius Peppers, North Carolina, where Julius Peppers attended, recently released the transcript of a unnamed student, fake student, supposedly, to the NCAA, and because they're under investigation, so be ready for that. Also, I heard that Auburn is under investigation as well for irregular recruiting violations for a wide receiver. Anyway, be ready for those two schools to get some kind of suspension. Not that North Carolina was ever on TV anyway. North Carolina supposedly released a student's transcript, and based off of some very basic information, it seems like it's Julius Peppers. They changed. His birthday is February 8th, 1980. I think that's what it was on the thing. And on the transcript, it says January 8th, 1980. So they only moved it like a month. The student takes the exact same classes and went to the exact same conference, the exact same time frame that Julius Peppers did. He has a lot, basically this student's classes match up perfectly with Julius Peppers' classes. And it also has an absence calculator on it or something like that. And it's like Julius Peppers missed like half the semester, yet he still pulled a C+ in that class. And, it's just confirming everything that everybody pretty much has known for like the longest. Football players kind of get a pass. A lot of athletes get a pass when it comes to whatever school you go to. If you're going to UNC, most likely if you're a basketball player, just try to show up to class and we'll give you a good grade, or try and turn in these assignments. I've never been an athlete of that caliber, so I can't speak for how that works. But yeah, I live in Texas. I mean, football is everything. If you're a good football player, you know what's up. If you're a good basketball player, you know what's up. Anyway, last but not least, UFC 141 has been officially canceled. Here's the story. Okay, Dan Henderson versus John Bones Jones. for the light heavyweight championship. Dan Henderson has a partial tear in his MCL. Me personally, I would never ask an athlete who was hurt specifically in a ligament that ends with CL to ever compete. Yeah, MCL, ACL, I would never ask you to try. That's like asking a football player to play with his ACL torn. It's just unreasonable. And so we all think because Dana White is the commissioner of the UFC that he is, he's like, oh, I'll just replace Dan Henderson. He replaces him within the same day. Finds Chael Sonnen, who is by his girlfriend's side after her dad had a stroke in the hospital, and now he's in the hospital. Chael Sonnen gets a call from Dana White, and he's like, want to fight for the light heavyweight title? He only has 8 days. Nobody knows what condition he's been training in or anything like that. But, somebody gives you a shot at the belt, all you can ask for is a chance, right? Well, he doesn't get that chance because John Bones Jones says he doesn't want to fight Chael Sonnen. And, a lot of people are kind of dissing him. Dana is pissed. If you listen to the conference call, it's on YouTube. UFC, it's called UFC 151 conference call, and it has Dana White, and it has the date on it. And it's just like the whole thing is just a picture of the promo. So it's like John Bones over here and then Dan Henderson over here. And, yeah, you can tell just from, like, the tone in his voice, he's pissed. They ask him if he's going to keep – they ask if John Bones is going to keep his sponsorship with UFC 141. And then he's like, I'm the wrong person to ask. And I'm like, yeah, he's the wrong person to ask because everybody knows. Because if you don't know, Dana White wears his emotions on his sleeve. If he doesn't like you, he's going to tell you. He didn't like Brock Lesnar. He told him to his face. He just didn't, what commissioner of any organization is ever going to go up to their employee and just be like, I don't like you, So that, for being honest, Dana White gets my thumbs up. So good for him. And that is all, folks. Social media information at the bottom, comments at the bottom. We're going to do it all tomorrow. Hopefully, I can get some more information from Nick. If you guys want more information about the cancellation and the changes that are going to happen, like September 22nd, John Bones is fighting Lyoto Machida, Karate Kid. That's his next fight. And then if you guys want more information, Nick posted a video. So Nick X Micro, go look at his channel. He posted a video. He's got a way more in-depth opinion about it than I do. He particularly doesn't care for John Bones Jones. You can see why. All right, guys. Later.